Why does the United States control a piece of land on the southeastern tip of Cuba? A place known not just for its strategic military value, but for one of the most controversial detention facilities in the world? This is the story of Guantanamo Bay. To understand why the US has Guantanamo Bay, we need to go back to the late 19th century. In 1898, the United States and Spain went to war. The Spanish-American War ended with Spain's defeat, and Cuba gained independence. But not without strings attached. In 1903, the US and Cuba signed the lease agreement, which gave the US control over Guantanamo Bay, originally meant as a naval coaling station. The US pays Cuba $4,085 a year in rent, but here's the twist. Cuba hasn't cashed those checks for decades, refusing to recognize the US presence. Over the years, Guantanamo Bay became more than just a naval base. It played a key role during the Cold War, acting as a strategic outpost against Soviet influence in Cuba. Then, in the 1990s, it was used to house Haitian and Cuban refugees trying to flee to the US. But in the early 2000s, Guantanamo Bay took on a new and highly controversial role. After the 9/11 attacks, the US launched the War on Terror. In 2002, the military established a detention facility at Guantanamo Bay to hold suspected terrorists. Why there? Because Guantanamo exists in a legal gray area, outside US soil but under US control. This meant detainees could be held indefinitely without trial, leading to accusations of human rights violations, torture, and international condemnation. To this day, Guantanamo remains open, though prisoner numbers have drastically declined. Many US presidents, Obama, Biden, have promised to close Guantanamo's prison. But legal, political, and diplomatic obstacles have kept it open. And as long as tensions remain between the US and Cuba, Guantanamo Bay itself is unlikely to change hands anytime soon. So, what do you think? Should the US keep control of Guantanamo Bay? Or is it time to return it to Cuba? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe.